Consider the phrase, La ilaha illallah. To understand how it actually functions, we must strip away the surface layer and examine the schematic. Discard any inherited historical framing, cultural baggage, or theological doctrine you associate with these words. We are applying the System 19 lens. Under this framework, we treat this text as a mechanical field structure. The entire structure is built from specific components, distinct letters operating as physical modules, movement, mirrored channels, paired dynamics, and flowing system interactions. Historians examine context and meaning. System 19 examines the mechanical force exerted on the user's cognitive field. Approaching the text this way reveals an operational protocol. It is an algorithm designed to clear cognitive noise and lock a receiver onto a central, stabilized current. To map that exact process, we have to isolate the foundational modules of the system before they interact. The schematic begins with the aleph, the vertical origin point and baseline structural order. Next is the lam, the channel, providing flow branching off that source. Finally, the ha, the active presence and living breath sustaining the current through the system. In this framework, these are not phonetic sounds. They are elemental cybernetic modules ready to be assembled into a complex processing circuit. The circuit begins its operation by combining the channel module and the source module to form the first operator, la. Look at this model of an active network. In standard translation, this is read as no. Mechanically, it functions as a reversing flow, returning directly to the source by severing external connections. It actively dissolves false stabilizations, forcing the removal of fixed attachments. Think of wiping a chalkboard clean, emptying a full container, or stripping static noise from audio. The system cannot align to a true frequency until this radical clearing algorithm is executed, severing all pre-existing cognitive attachments. We identify the target of this reset by assembling the source, the channel, and the presence modules. This forms ilah. This is a mapping of a phase space. Mechanically, this assembly is a governing flow field, an attraction point pulling human consciousness into its specific orbit. A mind naturally anchors to dozens of these fragmented fields: ego, fear, social status, tribal identity, and money. This brings us to the operational combination of the first two steps, la ilah. This triggers the forced clearing of the entire space. Every competing fragmented center is emptied and neutralized. Fragmented governing centers create interference that blocks a clear lock on a central current. The reset sequence is necessary to eliminate these competing attraction points, so the system can achieve a state of zero-point readiness. But a complete reset leaves the system entirely isolated. It requires a mechanism to restore flow. That mechanism is ilah. Structurally, this component dictates a focused source point, leading into a channel and opening back out to the main source. This interface functions as an exclusion filter and a strict redirection gate. The logic parameters are absolute. It calculates not this, not these, except the true unified field. It operates identically to locking onto a clean signal after the static has been scrubbed away. Emptiness is not the goal of this architecture. Emptiness is strictly a prerequisite for passing through the redirection gate toward absolute precision. That precision targets the final central field structure, built from all combined components, Allah. At the base, you have the unknown source spark feeding the structuring the structure exact origin. But the critical mechanical feature of this stage lies in the center, the double lam. These are paired channels, mirrored lanes running in continuous parallel. In this framework, ultimate unity is not a static, singular isolation. It is a living field manifesting through balanced paired dynamics. The equal pressure maintains the stability. This structural duality runs through the broader source material as a constant processing algorithm. Day and night, the seen and unseen, male and female, absolute mercy and strict severity. Unity, therefore, is an active state. It is completely sustained through the continuous processing of absolute structural balance. Zoom out and look at the completed circuit from end to end. The full mechanical flow executes in perfect sequence. It clears the fragmented governing centers, passes through the redirection gate, and reconnects seamlessly to the paired source field. The phrase functions as an active circuit. It represents a living operation, distinct from the mechanics of simple verbal repetition. The practical reality of this process is physical. You are tuning a compass. You are aligning a navigation system and plugging into the central current. The operation does not end in a void. It terminates in profound stabilization within the total living field. Under the System 19 lens, this is the definitive architectural blueprint. First, you must release all false governing centers. Then, align only with the unified living source field, the stable center of the completed circuit. This sequence functions as a technical protocol for cognitive alignment, the algorithm required to scrub interference